Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavani Om Shanti 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 Om Peace 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 Sadguru Shivananda Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Guru Vishnu Devananda Maharaj Ki Jai. So we'll do a short teaching from this beautiful book, Vishnu Devananda Upadesha. We'll open it random. Beautiful picture of young Swami Vishnu Devananda. And chapter is Karma and Reincarnation. Swami Vishnu says, the law of karma states that every action brings about an equal and opposite reaction. Whatever is done to others will return to the doer in some form or other. So, the yogis explained to us something that, it's in most religions and traditions, as they say, as you sow, so you reap. So if you plant a mango seed in the ground, what you'll get a mango tree and eventually eat mango fruits. If you sow apple seeds, you will get an apple tree. So also with actions. Because one of the existential questions that every person asks is the question of why. Why? Why on earth? Why, oh God? Why? Why do I? Start with D. Why do I? D-E. Why do I? D-E-S. D-S-E. D-S-E-R. Deserve this. Why? Why me? Why not everybody else? Why? So the answer is very simple. One word. Start with K. Very good. Karma, dear boy. Karma, dear girl. Karma, my dear. It's your karma. But I didn't do it. I don't deserve it. I'm such a good boy. I don't deserve it. Well, somewhere in the past, actions were done. Seeds were sown. And now we are eating the fruits of these karmas. I don't remember it. I don't think I would never do such a thing. Well, maybe now you will not do. But somewhere in your past, you have done. And now it's time for those karmic seeds to, sprout, mature, and fructify. So, the thing is that, you see, there is a gap. There is a gap between sowing the seeds and eating the fruits. And in our modern world, we are so disconnected from nature. So our life is so artificial, so unnatural, that it's so hard for us to digest those ideas. When I want a mango, it's very simple. I just go to the convenience store that is open 24/7, and I just buy a mango. Or even worse than this, I just go on the app and I open an app that allows me to order a mango. And then once I order it, I see a clock, 20 minutes. I count. Okay, 19 minutes, 17, 15. Where is my mango? 3, 2. Oh my God, I have so much patience. 1, 30 seconds. And ding, ding. The delivery is coming. Here is your mango. Wow. I had to wait for 20 minutes for my mango. For God's sake. What is this? So there will be a new entrepreneur that will tell you, forget about it. You cannot wait for 20 minutes for your mango. I promise you, in 5 minutes, your mango will be delivered. Then there will be another entrepreneur. 5 minutes? For God's sake. Who can wait for 5 minutes? Who can bear waiting for 5 minutes? I promise you, in 2.5 minutes, your mango is coming. Another entrepreneur. I will print your, a 3-dimensional mango in 30 seconds. So we become so impatient. We cannot bear waiting for the fruits. We want the fruits now. I do an action, I want the result now. But it's unnatural. When you sow a seed, how much you will have to wait for the mangoes to be eaten? Years. This is how it goes. This is nature. You plant, you invest, you fertilize, you irrigate, you make sure that things are operating naturally, allowing things to grow, appreciate the natural development of things, and eventually you appreciate the fruit. Today, because we don't have patience, even when we get the fruits, we don't appreciate. This is why things are so shallow and things don't have value. This is why, okay, a mango. And we move on to the next thing, to the package of chips, and to the this, and nothing fulfills. And nothing really, creates a value. Because it's all coming too fast. So the yogis are telling us, slow down, start to appreciate processes. Because otherwise you will just be like a spoiled child. That demands and wants. If their parents will give too fast whatever the child wants, the child will be spoiled. So the parents know it. So they try to, moderate it. But then comes the grandparents. And then they just want their grandparents to love them so much, so they give and give and give and give. And the parents are tearing their hair and say, what are you doing? You are spoiling my child. So, in order to appreciate life, and in order to suffer less, we have to be unspoiled. And we have to bring maturity in. As we bring maturity in, we can bear more. We can understand karma more. We can bear it more. And eventually we can start to appreciate it. And we can start to digest it. And we can start to understand that those karmic experiences, those karmic fruits, are not a punishment. They are a nourishment. Karma is not a punishment. Karma is your divine nourishment. And as you are taking responsibility to build and develop the enzymes that will allow you to digest your karmic experiences, you start to appreciate what this life is all about. Life is not about praying for others' karma. Krishna tells Arjuna, don't even think about it. This is so dangerous spiritually. Don't think about the karma of another. Don't try to fulfill the duty of another. Don't. Just thank for your karma, whatever it is. Learn to develop the enzymes that will allow you to digest it, to extract the spiritual nourishment out of it and grow. So instead of running away from our karma, instead of running after another person's karma, stop running and start developing the enzymes that will allow you to digest your karma. This is the effort. Effort should be done in this life. But the effort is not about pushing the karma away, not running after another karma, just accepting the karma and building and developing the enzymes that will allow you to digest. If you are wise and you are putting your effort in this avenue, you will be liberated from the karma. Because you will learn the lessons and the karma will dissolve. Because the karma is just there to teach you spiritual lessons. If you are learning the lessons and you grow, you are liberating yourself from this school called karma. Most people are continually creating new karmic situations. Why? Why do we create new karmic situations? Because we say, I don't want this karma, I want this karma. Okay. You know, God is saying, okay, I prepared this karma so nicely for you. You're not so unappreciated, but okay. We'll create another karma. But the thing is, as we saw the Q&A yesterday, Swami Supananda says, the new karma cannot be reaped in this body. Because this body and this mind and your system was designed for a certain karmas to be digested. Everything is divinely designed here for certain lessons to be experienced and be digested. But now you want a new karma. So God says, whew, I invested so much in this body. I invested so much for you to learn these lessons. But now you don't want this school. You don't want this laboratory. So what to do? Now we need to build another laboratory for another experiences and another experiment too. But, you know, a laboratory cannot be built in a day, in an hour. So we will have to wait. We'll have to design. We'll have to bring the architect. We'll have to bring the engineers. Okay. Another lifetime, 2 lifetimes, 3 lifetimes, we will build it for you. But then when you will get this, what will happen? You will say, no, I don't want this experiment. I want another. Oh my God. God is like pulling his hair. Okay, another laboratory. And you'll have to build another body, another body, another body, another body. But the thing is, once the laboratory there, you don't want to do the experiment. You don't want the experiment. So you are creating new and new opportunities for new and new and new birth. And this is the cycle of samsara. This is due to ignorance and its accompanying afflictions. So the ATTC, we're learning the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And Patanjali says that Prakriti or nature is giving the Purusha, is giving the soul opportunities for bhoga, for experience, in order for the soul to learn. But with this experience comes identification. The soul totally identifies with the experiences. And then comes raga, which is attraction, trying to hold on to some of the things. Dvesha, repelling. You see, when you are in the laboratory, you should not be attached to the microscope. You should not be attached. You should use them. You should use the laboratory. You should use the equipment in order to do the experiments and in order to learn and to grow and to be wise. But what we do, we just get to touch. Oh, it's such a beautiful microscope. And the microscope is not the issue. The experiment is the issue. Look through the microscope. Learn. Be wise. But we get enamored with the experience. And by this, we are creating for us suffering, because all these afflictions are called the root causes of suffering. Before the final emancipation, all karmic debts must be worked out, whether one decides to do so in this present life or leaves this work for later lifetimes. Now, the thing is, that Swami Vishnu is telling us, the thing is that, building up a laboratory is a very costly project. Very costly project. Now, you just want the experience. You don't take into consideration that for the experience to be having the facility that will enable you to experience, and for the experience to be delivered to you, there is a cost. And as you want more, you don't understand it, but you create for yourself a karmic debt. Somebody will have to pay for the laboratory. Somebody will have to pay for the experiment and all the materials. Who will have to pay for it? Who? Tell me, who? Who? You. You don't understand. Right now it is being delivered. But there is a debt that is building up. That is building up. That is building up. At a certain point, you become mature and you understand that there is nothing for free. Nothing for free. You think it's for free. It's not. You will have to pay for it. At a certain point, you become wise. You start to understand that there is a huge debt that is hanging over your head. At a certain life, you understand that it's time to start paying for the debt. Okay? How do you pay for your debt? How do you pay? How do you pay your karmic debt? Of course, by action, by utilizing the laboratory, by utilizing the equipment, the very costly equipment that you received. In what form? Utilizing it in what form? Start with S. S-E. S-E-R. S-E-R-V. Service. If you take the equipment and just want more and more and more, you get more and more debt. When you take the equipment and you start using it to serve, give, you are starting to pay off your debt. You're not doing it for anybody else. When you are serving, you're not doing it for anybody else. You're not doing a favor to anyone. You're just paying your debt. You're doing a favor for yourself. You are liberating yourself from the debt that you've created for yourself, for asking God to give you more and more and more laboratories. You had so many in order to get so many experiences. One day you take your head and say, "Oh my," it's like when you move from one house to another or from another apartment to another, you realize how many objects you accumulated. You say, "Oh my God, what?" So one lifetime, the jiva, the soul, is holding his head and say, "Oh my God, how many laboratories have I accumulated? And how much debt I accumulated for all these laboratories? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop. I don't want any more laboratories. Don't want. I don't seek any more experience. Let me just pay off my debts, because this debt is hanging over you and it's, pressing and oppressing and it's choking. So we think that we are choked by not having enough. There he said, you have too much. Release, give, serve, free yourself from the burden of having so much and of the debt that comes along with it. Ignorance is identification with this body, forgetting yourself, the Atman or God. As long as you identify with the body, there is karmic reaction. So, Krishna again and again tells Arjuna, perform actions, but in the form of sacrifice, in the form of offering, in the form of service, not in the form of willing and desiring. And as we heard Swami Supananda, he was talking about desires. He said, you cannot, let go desire all of a sudden. So first of all, you have to discriminate between good desires and bad desires. And you should start to desire, oh God, let me follow my good desire, my liberating desire, the desire to serve, the desire to give, the desire to share. But even this without attachment. Let this desire eventually dissolve all desires. Let me be free. All that.